in-person Star Wars Destiny in Toronto and a renewed Prime event. Today we're joined by none other than LiquidSnake for an event recap and a meta snapshot. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Star Wars Destiny folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando, and happy Destiny Friday. And Snake, man, how's it going?
Pretty good, thanks. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, how's life been?
Life's been good, just enjoying some time off work, able to take a vacation, and get to enjoy some time with the family, but it's been good.
Nice. All right, so tell us about rolling real dice for realsies in Toronto.
Yeah, so it's about a month ago we held our Prime Championship in Toronto at 401 Games, and we had about 8 participants come out to the event, and it was an absolute blast. Nothing beats in real person Destiny. And it was great to finally get the event off the ground. As you know, we've been trying our best to get that Prime going about 3 different times prior to, but we were finally able to successfully launch it, and it was a blast.
Great. So what the format look like with 8?
Yeah, so
at least 3 rounds of Swiss, but did you play more?
No, that's right. So we did 3 rounds of Swiss, and then we decided to cut to a top 4, best of 3 series elimination, and I actually ended up taking it down myself. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Some of those hot Guy Love Baze Churret promos too for the winners, right?
Yeah. I have to thank you for that. Obviously, I mean it was tough to get some promos going for the event, but luckily enough we were able to score that prize kit from you. So thank you very much.
Hey, recycling is the best. We weren't able to get ours off, so right.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Well, tell us or tell me us. How'd it go? What was the goods, the bads? What would you do different?
Yeah, I mean, so the goods are obviously just getting everyone together and reigniting the in-person scene, seeing some old friends and some new players come out, which was nice. I think the bad would be that we had to obviously reschedule several times due to, illness or schedule conflicts. But I mean, that's the pains with holding a tournament or organizing an event. As I discussed with Casey in my article with him, the feedback that I would give for anyone that's running an in-person event is just have that patience, perseverance, and try to partner with your gaming shop and try to get out there and build a community. Get some new players. One thing that really worked for us was bringing actual deck cubes and being able to get people to try out the game, right, and showcase some of the new cards that they may not have seen. So that really helped get the stage rolling, and I'm looking forward to the next Prime. We've already got approval from the ARH team to launch another one, so looking forward to hosting another one.
Nice. Good. That's very interesting because Casey, he was on just last week telling us about the Swindon event, and that seems to be a common theme that you mentioned was supplying the decks for people. There's no that's a very common theme, and it seems to be the plan for success. So how many decks do you realistically need? 50% of the field? Do you need one for everybody? What should people who are looking to do the same target?
Right. So I was able to co-host with 2 other gentlemen, old Ben Kenobi and Spartacus, and they've also purchased other sets of the ARH printable cards from Kingwood's Hobbies. That's where I've purchased mine from as well. And with us 3 collectively coming together, we were able to pretty much supply the entire field, which was nice. If you're not able to do so, I would just recommend, seeing if there's any collections up for grabs. I know I see that all the time in the Facebook Marketplace pages, eBay. There's all kinds of venues to pick up all those cards if you need. And of course, being able to print and play yourself if you have the means to do so. Why not, right? And just if you're hosting the tournament yourself, allow for certain types of proxies. Just make it about just getting people out there, right? So.
Sure. All right. Well, let's talk the event itself. So, what were you running? The big one?
So I was running Old Man Luke from Waves of the Force.
You're talking Sprinkler Luke?
Yeah, Blue Milton with Mr. Kenobi, the new Display of Power Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've been on that deck since the beginning of Display of Power, the release event. I took it to a top 8 finish, and it's been pretty good. But with the recent changes from Elrath, when they did the balance update, I think it was in early February, the deck only got stronger because they were able to restrict Jarkai with Headstrong and Jedi Temple Guards. So making an abilities hero deck more viable was definitely the way I wanted to go. And I was on Kenobi since the beginning, so I thought, why not continue to run him? He's been good to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. What were some of the other decks in the top 4?
Yeah, so the other top 4 decks, Old Ben Kenobi, who finished in second place, was on his favorite, Bosk Suntir, Ace Pilots. He's been running Bosk since the Coruscant Open, where he took down the second heat with Bosk and Fennec. So he's always tinkering with Bosk, and when Suntir had his point reduction, he thought, why not go with an amazing partner for Bosk in terms of getting shield generation and also being the pilot as well. So really cool deck. Then we had Sun Daughter come into the top 4 as well. Very, very powerful deck if run properly. And then, of course, we had another piloting deck. It was Dash Rendar with Nien Nub and Ace Pilots as well. So lots of piloting decks in our meta.
Well, they're fun, right? You can just kind of roll guns. It works.
Absolutely. Pew pew.
Cool. Any surprises on the day? Anything janky?
There was one gentleman playing, Spartacus actually, he was playing old school Raylo. And the reason for him playing that deck, I think he just wanted to test the FFG cards against the current meta with ARH, but he also included Jarkai. So it was an interesting build instead of going the ability route. And then there was also a gentleman that brought Dryden Voss with General Grievous. And with Ace, I think it was Armored Reinforcement, and the main idea of the deck was to obviously search for the Tyridium, and then to name Dryden Voss as a droid, so you can get 3 rollouts to potentially hit those specials. That was actually my first match in the tournament too, and it came down to the wire. He was able to build quite the board state, so that was a lot of fun.
That's kind of spicy, actually.
Yeah, it was very difficult to get around that.
Huh.
So
that's cool. That's creative. Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, let's. Anything else to add on the event itself?
Yeah, honestly, the event was very successful. I think that everyone had a great time. I think the one thing that stood out to me and what makes our community very special and inclusive was one of the gentlemen. It was his birthday, and he made it into the top 4 with Sun Daughter, and myself and Old Ben Kenobi were playing in the finals, and even though I had taken the tournament down, I said, here, take the prizes, because as the TO, I'm already getting something myself. I didn't want to take down multiple prizes myself, so I wanted to share it with the community. And he decided to donate the playmat and the cards to Dave, who was the gentleman that made it to the top 4, and it just goes to show you, like, he was super excited, super ecstatic. It was the first time for him ever even making a top cut. He's been playing Destiny since the FFG days, so for him it was a special day just to get that play mat and the cards. And I think just having a fun event like that just brought us all together. So it was great to see that happen.
Nice, awesome. All right, well, shifting gears a little bit, let's talk meta. No stranger to the top cuts of the league yourself. How's the league been going, and what's the meta look like right now?
Yeah, so the league has been a blast. I would strongly encourage everyone to join it. It's free to play and really not that much pressure to get your games in. They're only looking for you to complete at least 1 game a week so you can earn those bonus points to maintain your standings. And every game you play actually grants you points towards qualifying for their invitational. The invitational occurs every 6 months, and it's just a grand tournament to have all of those players come out. So the current meta, the way I see it, online versus kitchen table, it's very broad, very diverse. I still think there's a lot of decks out there to be explored. Every top cut that I've entered, I've seen several shifts over the past few different top cuts. I believe I've made every single one since the Display of Power, but every single deck that I've seen entered has shifted or been different. For example, I'm still playing Top Cut matches from the February league, and there was about 3 or 4 Tarkin decks that were in the Top Cut, and then you go to the newest Top Cut meta, and there's not a single Tarkin there. So, so it's really really wide open. Lots of mill, lots of burn decks. I know Vika's deck's been very popular with the FN and Maul, so that's been floating around quite a bit. I know Casey's got his own twist to it, so I've seen him do well with that deck. But I've just been consistently running Obi and Luke. It's been working for me, and haven't really had much trouble, against that deck. And then the one time I decided to spice it up and change it up for the Top Cut that's up right now, I decided to go with the 4 Navy Imperial leaders, the pilots, with the CI plot. And I'm running into another 4-wide mill. So it's going to be 2 Republic senators with a patient Padawan and a Jawa junk dealer. And the one time I switch off to do something else, it's you run into something like that. So, but yeah, right now, if I could really narrow it down, it would just be it's very diverse. Almost every character is being used. So it's probably the best meta I've been a part of.
Interesting. Well, and I know once you go to Top Cut, you kind of pick a pony, but in the main league, you actually are rewarded points for not playing the same deck, right?
Absolutely, yes. So you always try to run 8 different decks, so that way you can capitalize on the uniqueness point, and that does make a difference. That 1 point can make or break whether you make it into the top 8 or not. So it's great that they do that because it encourages that diversity. You don't want to see the same deck every single time. I could remember back in the day when it was the Artificery League, and that's generally what you would see. But even then, it was still a lot of fun. I just like the fact that they've now rewarded you for being creative.
Awesome. All right. Well, as you move into more IRL, or I should say, as you're looking forward to more IRL, do you have any new plans or any thoughts on pulling in brand spanking new people? Do you think that's manageable, possible? I mean, obviously not at a large scale, but what's the plan there other than just having the decks ready?
Right. Funny you mentioned that, and it happened after Sarah had launched that article about the Grand Championships. So since the tournament launched, there was a lot of chatter in our Facebook group chats and other venues, and I've had several people actually reach out to me that weren't even at the tournament just to say, hey, do you think we could potentially get enough players together to host a Grand Championship? And some of these individuals were also invited to the tournament, just couldn't make it due to scheduling. So I think what the minimum requirement to qualify for such a tournament would be 16 players. And based on the chatter that I'm receiving and who I've talked to, it's definitely possible. It's just about getting these small little pockets of players all together at the same time. So it's going to take a little bit of coordination, a little bit of planning, but I definitely believe that we can muster up at least a minimum of 16 players for the next Prime. And then if that launches successfully with that number, then there's no reason for us not to qualify then for a Grand Championship. So it's definitely doable, and the players are out there. They exist. It's just trying to coordinate and get them all together again.
Sure. Yeah, because the Grand Championship it's at Gen Con, right? And then it's in the
That's
UK.
Correct.
And then we have one in Brazil. Which is very cool. Actually, good plug. In editing, I'll put the thing up. Sarah does a great job with all that. Shout out to Sarah. Nicely done.
Absolutely. And hopefully we can get Canada on the board too.
There you go. Yeah. So in order to qualify, you have to have 16.
Correct.
So you have to have demonstrated that you can get 16, because what happens if you have 16 signups and only 15 show up that day? It's not like it gets demoted, right? So. Correct.
Yeah. So you have to just demonstrate that you're trying to build it in real life community for the game, that there is interest in it, and that there are enough players to support that size of a tournament, right? So that's the main reason why they're looking for at least 16 minimum participants.
Yeah. No, I mean it makes sense. It's the Grand Championship in my basement with my wife next weekend, right? So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Looking forward to the Gen Con one. Actually, I will be attending, so hopefully more Team Commando members will join up. But
that's right.
Looking forward to.
The
that's right. You got it.
Yeah, the way they've brought Smash to that last year, and I assume it'll be. I can't imagine it not being there this year. I think that's really welcoming and approaching to maybe picking up stragglers. I think that's a great strategy on their part, and I really, really applaud that.
Yeah, it's actually confirmed it's going to be one of the types of events for sure. And I know Old Man Kenobi is a huge Smash player in our play group, so he's actually looking to organize a Smash tournament for our play group as well. So
nice.
Looking forward to seeing that happen too.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I do think Smash. If I had a little bigger community here, I do think Smash would even be possible because people wouldn't have to have anything; they can just show up and play, right? So
exactly, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. So what's next for you, boss?
Honestly, right now, just taking a break. I know everyone's been super busy with work and other commitments. Actually, coming out of the March break weekend, that's when the tournament launched and that's when it started. So a lot of our community have a lot of family and friends, so it's going to be a little bit tough for them to get back into it. But right now, I think we're going to be looking to maybe host another event maybe in a couple of weeks, just a casual meetup at 401 Games again. Just maybe playing for some of the Rex promos or maybe the Count Dooku promos. I still have some of those kicking around, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll go to planning our next Prime. So that's going to be the upcoming events for me.
Awesome. Well, awesome. And then the new league, obviously, well, the new league kind of just started a little bit ago, actually. I saw Rebel Trader post about it like maybe 3-4 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, Casey's off to a hot start. It's nice to see that too. So I think he's 4-0 right now. So shout out to Casey. I think he's going to do well. And hopefully we can get some more Commandos in there too.
Nice. Well, hey, before we wrap up and get out of here, anything else you want to add or shout outs or anything else you want to talk about while we're here? We got time.
No, not really. I think we covered everything. I think just shout out obviously to Old Ben Kenobi and Spartacus for assisting me in making that event happen. And then obviously just going forward and making our community bigger. And hopefully we'll have another successful Prime and then potentially a Grand Championship. So that's all for me.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for staying up late to chat with me after kiddo time. And I always appreciate you as always, my friend. So
thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yep. Well, thank you. And everyone, if you want to get up and roll some dice, if you're up in the east at all, you can cross the border. I hear it's okay to cross the border up there. So you can go roll some dice and then
give me a shout.
Perfect. And how can people get in touch with you? Are you on the ARH Discord? That's the best way?
Yeah, ARH Discord. You can find me in the Facebook groups too. Best way to reach me, obviously, is through the ARH Discord. But yeah, I'm available through multiple different venues. So always looking for new players.
All right. Well, there you go. So thank you once again, and thank you for all the work you've. I know it was a slog getting it to happen, but now that you've done it, it's going to happen again. So nicely done. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And another shout out, obviously, to the ARH team. Yes, I know they definitely supported us through all of this. Yeah, especially Mr. Major Basil. I know he was a very, very close support to this event too. So thank you and huge shout out to that team for making everything happen and continuing this amazing game.
Yeah, that was exactly the shout out. You nailed it. Perfect. Yes. All right. Well, I got nothing else. Thanks, my friend. Say it with me. Go Commando.
Go Commando.